Hello everybody, welcome back to the League's Catalyst Daily Relic Reveals. We're here on September 1st, there's only 10 more days of reveals, and today we're being granted the relic that we expected to see yesterday when we covered the choice between Golden Footed and 5-Finger Discount. It's Farming Frenzy. It's almost certain that this is going to be Tier 2 up against yesterday's choices of Golden Footed and 5-Finger Discount, so we'll see if it is a choice between these three, which one of the three is the best. So what we get with this one is all patches are automatically harvested instantly and the produce is automatically noted, which is really nice. So whenever you do gather from a herb patch, a flower patch, or a fruit tree, anything like that, you'll instantly pick everything. It'll calculate how many herbs you would have got if it wasn't instant, and they will automatically be placed in your inventory as a banknote, just so you don't have to run between the farming patch and the leprechaun and note things. Also, any seed you plant will instantly grow to full. That's pretty crazy. You don't have to wait the full 80 minutes anytime you want to grow a herb seed. It's just instant. So really, you'll never need to do farm runs with this. You'll just need to stockpile a bunch of seeds till you're in the mood to do a bunch of bulk farming. You'll only need one farming patch, really, in the whole game. You're going to plant your seeds instantly. You'll also get a 15% extra yield from all your crops. So any herb seeds you do plant, not only are they instant, you'll get 15% more herbs, you'll get 15% more fruit. That's useful for things like primal pulp for post-99 herb lore. All your patches are always treated with ultra compost, so you'll never need to make any compost. You won't have to go buy the 40 daily pineapples from Catherby and put them in your compost bin and then take that out and give it to the tool leprechaun guy. You also have a 20% chance to save planted seeds when you do plant them, which is also nice. You'll get a little bit extra out of your seeds. This is really good for the more rare, hard to get herbs, maybe as part of your overload ingredients, and also things like the star bloom seed, which we mentioned the other day when we talked about the thieving stuff. It's a rare high level seed that grows a flower that you can turn into armor with 99 crafting. So if you're planning to make a set of that or the masterwork mage, then saving 20% of these seeds is going to save you a bunch of time. Also, herb seeds are planted at the max amount with only the base amount of seeds used. Now, if you don't know what this actually means, there's a thing in this game, there's a herb lore shop you can basically go to. You earn points every time you plant herb seeds just to incentivize players to do their own herb runs, and at certain farming levels and thresholds of these points you can buy upgrades, and one of the upgrades you can buy is the ability to plant more than one herb seed in a patch at once and let it grow. So here we are, we're at a herb patch here in the Wildy. I've got myself a bloodweed seed. Now if I plant this, as you can see here, you now get an interface. This is in normal RuneScape 3, where you can choose how many seeds to plant at once. It'll still take the same amount of time to grow as it would if you just plant a single seed. As you can see, you can plant 1, 2, 4, 7, or 10, depending on how many seeds you bring with you and the tier of this upgrade you've unlocked at the herb lore shop. But with the relic here, you will actually be able to plant the equivalent of putting 10 seeds in the ground at once, but it will only cost you 1 seed, and you'll also have a 20% chance of saving that seed when you do plant 10, and you'll get 15% more back. It's a very one-note relic. It's really just, do you want lots and lots of herbs easily? Yes, then take the relic. If you don't care about that, don't take the relic. There's not much else here. Like I say, there's just the odd few things that this will be really good for. Maybe if you want to make some perfect juju potions at the herb lore habitat, those special kind of seeds that you have to grind from killing mutated Jadinkos and put them in those special herb patches, you'll be able to get a lot more out of those, which is nice. But there's not many seeds in this game that are super hard to get once you're a higher level. But if you want loads of like the best tier overloads in this league, this is the thing to pick. You're just going to need a couple of seeds for each of the different kinds of potions that make the overload. You'll be able to get 99 farming super fast, even if you get like rubbish seeds like guams. If it's only going to take you a second to plant and pick a guam seed, it's going to be worth the time to grow it. So every seed you get from like a Slayer task is going to be valuable to you. You're going to be able to super turbocharge your farming. The only thing I will say about this relic though, if you just kind of play the game, you do get quite a lot of seeds. There is already this thing in the game where if you spend the points, you can plant 10 seeds at once, which makes farm runs quicker. There's also another upgrade you can buy from that same shop that makes herbs grow in 60 minutes instead of 80. So if you don't want to take this, you will still be able to do herb runs. They're a lot less painful in base RS3 than they are in old school. They're actually kind of fun in this game, but this one will be a lot of fun as well. It'll remove a lot of the tedium from grinding herb lore and farming, so it'll really just completely set you up for those two skills. But it is just worth mentioning that in this game, farming's already quite easy because you do the majority of it at the player-owned farm. There's a bunch of animal pens you can build. You just have to feed them, check on them once a day, and these little bad boys here, they grow So as you can see here, we're growing some chin chompers. Over here at the back, we're growing some black dragons, and you can just kind of do this as a very, very passive way of leveling your farming up. So you don't really need the crazy farming XP from this relic, but the main reason you're going to be choosing this one is whether you want a bunch of combat potions, which do make a massive difference in this game. You know, things like weapon poison, overloads, those are going to be your big ones, but also just basic prayer pots, prayer renewals, all the supplies you're going to need. Herb lore in this game goes up to level 120. There's loads of awesome stuff. You can get like adrenaline potions in combat, so you sip them and you get some more of these adrenaline points, so you can use more of your better abilities, get more DPS. You can get skilling potions like power bursts of Master Stroke, which make your smithing like 30% faster. The only issue with these is a lot of these high level potion recipes include things that aren't just herbs. You do have to get some secondaries that you can only get by raising animals here on the farm, so it may be that you're limited. Even if you do have an insane amount of herbs here from this relic, you'll have loads of unfinished potions, but maybe the secondaries, it's not something that comes directly from herb lore. For example, super necromancy potions, you do have to grind congealed blood from a bunch of monsters like bloodvelds or things in Maya Ditch. That's not something you're going to be able to grow, so this isn't going to give you free overloads, but it is going to be absolutely insane for farming. You can plant one seed in the ground, and it'll be the equivalent of planting 10 seeds at once, and then you'll still have a 20% chance of saving that one seed you planted, and then you'll get the extra yield on top of those 10 seeds, and the value of yield from ultra compost on top of those 10 seeds, and you'll grow them instantly. But like I say, it's really just a choice up to you of how much you value farming. Maybe if you don't mind farming and you find it fun, maybe you're not interested in this relic, maybe you just want to get to like 96 really fast to get overloads and get straight into PVM, and you don't really want to spend a lot of your league time doing tedious skilling. Maybe this one's for you, but it is worth mentioning this is likely going to be up against the two from yesterday, so you'll be deciding between this and loads of money and free 99 agility from Golden Footed, or whatever thieving's going to grant you, which is not going to be a lot. It's just going to be like crazy millions of thieving XP an hour. So out of these three, I think it's actually a pretty decent choice. I think it's a lot less cut and dry than the tier 1 choice of 3 relics. Out of these three, I could see any player going for any of these three and having a legitimate reason to do so. So let me know what you think about farming, Frenzy. Are you going to be farming in the league? Are you going to be planting coconuts and making weapon poisons? You're going to be rushing overloads and heading straight to Zuck? Is farming easy enough in RS3 without a turbocharged relic? I guess we'll have to see if there's any other baseline features in the league. For example, the default farming timer being faster. I think potentially the farming timer is already going to be 4x, which means at the baseline, growing a herb is already only going to take 20 minutes, which obviously is vastly different to instant and 10 times the yield. But yeah, farming shouldn't be too hard already. You only need to get to like 20 farming or something to unlock the player-owned farm, and then you don't actually have to grow crops at all. You can just grow animals and just feed them like woad leaves you can buy from an NPC. But like I say, potions are always going to be useful, so this thing's going to be crazy. It's going to turbocharge your herb lore like crazy, but I think we want to see a little bit more about what's coming out before I make my personal choice on this tier. I'm still thinking about Golden Footed just because I can't be bothered to train agility with my limited leagues time, and I actually don't mind farm runs. They're kind of fun and easy. And it is worth mentioning though that we don't actually know all these three are confirmed to be up against each other, but I'm pretty much like 95% sure these will be the three choices for tier 2. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you tomorrow for the 10th to last reveal, something like that. So take care guys, bye.